Hi everyone, Ethan here with another basic HTML tutorial. Today we'll just be reviewing the image tag. Now the image tag is a little different than the other HTML elements that we've been reviewing because it's a single tag. It actually does not include an opening and closing tag, so therefore it's just one single tag. It does, however, require two attributes to function, being source and alt, which we'll be covering in this tutorial. It is also beneficial to include width and height attributes as well. The source attribute is actually where the image's file path will be input, and if the file is within a folder, you must list the folder first, then type your backslash, then the image's file name. It's more or less a file path or link to your image. The alt text is more or less alternative text if the image doesn't load, and it's good for people who might be visually impaired or are using screen readers. The alt text essentially describes what the image is. It's also good to include the width and the height attributes because then it's going to be a little bit more specific and it's going to help the browser load that image quicker. So we have our HTML document here, and all of your images will be coded within the body of your HTML document. And we're going to start this out like we normally would with a less than img space. And our first attribute is going to be source, which is actually going to be coded src for source, equals, quotation mark, and then we have to type out the file path to get to our image. Now I'm going to navigate to my desktop so we can actually see how the HTML document is on the desktop with the image we'll be coding into the document. So we can see we have our HTML document here directly on the desktop, image tag.html, and the image is already with that document on the desktop, so we won't have to code any file path or into any folders while we're coding this image tag. Notice we have lenin.png, so that's what we'll be coding into our image tag. So I'm going to return to Dreamweaver, and I'm just going to type that file name out, lenin.png, quotation mark to end that. Now I'm going to add a space, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the alt attribute in there. So we're just going to type out alt equals quotation, and the description of this image will be John Lennon portrait drawing. And we'll end that with a quotation. The next thing we're going to do is include the width and the height of this image. So those attributes are going to be width equals quotation, and I'm going to navigate back to that file so we can go ahead and check the width and the height of this image. So I'm just going to right click our image and I'm going to go to get info, and as you can see under more info, the dimensions are 300 pixels wide and 397 pixels high. So the width being width equals quotation 300 px for pixels quotation, and the height being height equals quotation 397 pixels or px quotation. So as you can see, we have our image source, the source being the name of that file or the file path to get to it. We have alt, which is the alternative text that will describe our image. We have the width of the image in pixels, and we have the height of the image in pixels. However, we don't see anything pop up yet except for a broken file path because we haven't closed out our image tag. Now, as I mentioned before, there's not an opening and closing tag. However, you still end the image tag with a greater than symbol. And as you can see, once we put that greater than symbol, we are completing our image tag, and our image is showing up in the live view of our document. All right, everybody, that concludes our tutorial on basic images in HTML. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, and if you did, please hit subscribe and check back for more tutorials to keep learning HTML. This is Ethan Dre, and as always, have a great day.